Hi friends, this is Marilyn from tarotclarity.com again, and I've been living with the last spread that I did a couple of days ago regarding past life and utilizing the Minchiate deck, which is fortified with cards from the Zodiac, among other cards. And I just wanted to, not necessarily that this is a part two, but a supplemental message on top of what was already discussed in the first video. And I'll link the first video down below, and I'll link this video on that first video so that, whichever one you stumble upon, you'll be able to follow through with the next video. Now, for those of you who are seeing this first, that's fine. You'll have this information going into the second video, which was the first video. At any rate, the first video was doing a past spread. I've come up with a past spread that I've used for a past life spread that I've used for a number of years for clients. I shared that I never did it for myself. And it's not because I didn't believe in reincarnation, because I do believe that we continue, our energy or our essence or something about us continues. Now, maybe that's just because I have an ego and I can't imagine not being around. But I can imagine being dormant for a long time and not, being maybe aware or conscious. I don't know. I don't know what's out there. I don't know what happens next. And but I'm open to the possibility that we are reinvented, whether it's on Earth or another dimension or another place where life looks quite different than it looks here. Which I guess is why I probably never did a reincarnation spread for myself or past life spread for myself, because there's no guarantee that my past life was one that was on Earth. My past life could have been something else. Or what if we live, this is another thought that occurs to me, there have been a number of occasions in my life where I don't know how I survived something. I mean, up until the last split second, I thought I was done. And that has been, I can probably count 5 or 6 times where that was the case. And in fact, I was supposed to even be on an airplane where and I had the ticket, and my parents made me, because I was only 14, my parents made me buy a new ticket, because I went to the airport with my cousin and bought the ticket, I swear. At any rate, the original ticket that I had, everyone died on that flight, and I didn't. I wasn't on it. So although that's not quite the same as being in an experience where you think you're going to buy the farm, and then the next second you're fine and nothing happened, it's a little different than that. But there have been, I can think easily of, probably 5 or 6 times. So it occurs to me, after, and because I'm an introspective person and I think a lot, I think too much. And, after a few of those experiences, and I was just, imagining, what if I did really die in all those occasions, and then the people who were here, where I thought I was, grieved my loss. But I never missed a beat, because I just went someplace else where I was spared that, and I just picked up with other people who continued to know me. And I know it's like really hard to imagine, but I was talking to one of my sons about it, and this was about 4 or 5 years ago. And I was like, this is what's occurring to me. And he's like, Ma, that's already a thing. It's like called, what do you call it? Oh, I forget what he called it, like maybe quantum physics or parallel universes or something like that. He's like, Mom, that's already a thing, and that's a possibility. Who knows, So that's why I probably never did a past life reading, because I don't know if if reincarnation is a thing, or if it's a thing in the way that we understand it. But I do think that our essence of who we are, whether it's in this life, a past life, in any parallel universe we might jump and skip to, I think I think we carry with us certain coded information about who we are. I don't know how else to put it. So at any rate, I finally decided that I would be the guinea pig for using the Minchiate deck, which has the astrological cards, in doing a spread about past life, because a past life reading is meaningless without a real person, and I wanted to demonstrate it for you guys, so I had to use myself. So I'll get into it. I relayed the same cards for the benefit of this conversation, because I'll be flipping the camera and looking over at it. I did want to mention a few points. Let me check my notes and see if I can remember. I remembered. Along with having mentioned that I've never done a past life reading for myself, I also shared that I rarely do readings for myself other than in demonstration readings, which is true. I typically don't do readings for myself, at least in the past two decades, let's say 2 or 3 decades, unless I'm doing demonstration readings, because although I do sometimes do like pretend situations to demonstrate card readings, it's really more beneficial for everyone if there's a real scenario that's being used for a demonstration. So in those times I will, and I've done a lot of demonstrations in my life. So in essence, I have done a lot of readings for myself, as a demonstration, because I'll use questions that, I really want to know the answer to. But for the most part, like I don't like, and I will meditate with cards like regularly, maybe not every day, but there are things that I do want to know. Now or I just want greater insight too. So I will flip the cards. But what I need to clarify is that I don't flip the cards to say, oh, my daughter and I got into a fight. What can I do to fix it? Because I know how to fix it, Or, oh, there's a problem between me and my husband. I'm so mad at him. Like, I know what I got to do, So I don't really go there with my cards. When I handle and mix the cards for myself, when I meditate for myself, or when I interpret the cards for myself, it's usually to connect with someone who's left this world. It's usually to connect with an ancestor that I want understanding of, or I feel connected to in some way. So it's like that. So I'm not really reading for myself per se, where I'm looking to benefit my life in some way. I'm looking for clarification. So I think that's a key point to point out, to make to clarify that, because it sounded like I never use the cards for myself, but I do. I just don't use it in a typical way. And then the other thing, sometimes a few people have asked me why I don't do my meditative stuff online, and it could take me, 10 minutes of meditation before I feel like I'm prepared enough to lay the cards. And I've mentioned a few times that I go into a space and I ask the universe. Now, for some people that may be God, for me, the universe means it's inclusive of everything that's out there, everything and one thing, So when I go into my meditative state and I want to know information, say about a past life, or I want to know about one of my ancestors, or I want to connect with one of my parents, I always go to the universe and I ask the universe, please let me know what I need to know, or what you feel is appropriate for me to know. If it's not my right to know specific things, it won't come to me. And I ask for permission. I ask for the knowledge to be given to me, granted to me, that I need to know, and on an as to know basis. And then I asked my higher self, because my higher self doesn't have that information. My higher self will know how to use that information, and you know, whatever information comes in the cards, I asked my higher self to allow me to understand what the message in the cards is in the most meaningful and beneficial way for the client or myself. So I just wanted to make those distinctions. Okay, now you're being so patient. Some of you are so wonderful that I know you stay and watch till the end of some of my videos, which I appreciate. So let me flip the camera, and we'll get to the cards that I laid the other day.